Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker and trainer and coach. And as a coach, I help people find their voice and learn to use it. Meaning, I help folks who need to make a presentation or a big speech, a eulogy, a best man or best woman at a wedding speech. I do it all. Would love to be on your team for help. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. Because I like to say it's not if, but when it happens, and you and your team need to be prepared. If your organization is having a conference or you're part of a national group that's looking for keynote speakers, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. Man, I'd love to be a part of your team. Many of you know I've got a lot of books on the market. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. Let me do a shout out for my book, Speak Without Fear. If you need some help in your public speaking, that's the book for you. For those of you who are beginning speaking and you've now moved to the next level, my newest book, Perfecting Your Platform, well, that'll be the book for you. And if you enjoy these weekly radio shows, you can buy Encouragement for Your Life. I've got 3 volumes, and those are the radio show put in book form. All right, enough sales. I've got a great theme today. It's one that most people will not talk about, but I might as well. And here it is. Friend, you can dwell on it for the rest of your life. That's death. Or you can let it go and move on. That's life. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this next half hour with me. Let's get started with today's exciting show. So I've got to level with you. Today's message is a little tough love, but that's okay. You can take it. I've got a quote from Bridget Noel, and she says this: "You can dwell on it for the rest of your life." Friend, that is death. Or you can let it go and move on. Friend, that's life. I gotta say, one of the great joys of doing this radio show is all the nice people who call and email me, and they tell me how a certain show was meaningful to them. Some people even ask questions about who should they turn to for help. Now, I'm not a licensed counselor, so I can only suggest some good people that I know who may be able to help those who reach out to me seeking answers. The truth is, I can't help everyone, but I will certainly try to send you to someone who might be able to help. Occasionally, I get a call from someone who, just by listening every week to my dose of encouragement, has allowed a dormant spark of a long-lost passion to flicker alive. And when that spark catches on and begins to create a little light, that's what pushes a few good folks to ask how to get started or restart on something they've always wanted to do but pushed aside for whatever reason. A while back, I met someone who said they always felt that they wanted to speak at national conferences because they had gone through a lot in their life and they just wanted to let others know how they got through it. They want to be an encouragement to others. I get that one a lot, and I'm happy for it. The problem with a request like that is it's hard to find your tribe, those who will let you speak from a platform and then pay you for the information. Now, I never want to be discouraging, but most speakers have been on the circuit for years, speaking on topics that they are experts on. And that's how a livelihood is made in this very, very competitive business. Yes, some can do well for a time with their topic, and topics of interest do come and go. Currently the topic du jour is the art of storytelling, but trust me, that will swing back with a pendulum. People want to get back to facts and figures, and then storytelling comes back again. All right, so here's the fact. Very few people can sustain that for a business model. If you can, good for you, but it's a tough one. Again, please know that if you have a passion and can craft a message that can change lives, you might be onto something. I encourage you to find those who are like-minded to your topic and see if they would be willing to have you come speak to their group. That's how most of us get started. I will say probably the number one request I get from people who call me is a desire to speak to the faith community. I'm not sure why, but I think it's because it seems pretty easy, because most Sunday sermons appear to be 3 points and a poem. And they know the text, they know the congregation, they know the words to all the songs. And since we're taught not to judge, Many think that's a great way to get started. So here's my quick story. I had a call from a very nice person. She'd been listening to my show for many, many years and finally got the courage to call me and ask me how she could start speaking. When I answered the phone, she introduced herself and told me that she wanted to speak at women's conferences. And then she began to tell me all the reasons why she hasn't been able to pursue her dream of speaking. She's married with kids in school and a husband who's not well, but still doing odd jobs to help keep the family stable. Now, she has to work, but she doesn't like her job and she can't quit because they need the money. She went on to tell me that she's not a good writer and she didn't finish school, so she feels bad about that and doesn't feel good about her command of the English language. I gotta tell you, it was then I just had to stop her on the phone. Frankly, I just couldn't listen anymore. I admit I have a very low tolerance for people who want to dwell on all the reasons why they can't follow their dreams or live their passion or do what they feel they were born to do. Instead of discussing all the reasons she gave me about her life being out of balance, I asked her to give me a few topics on which she would like to speak. I got the usual marriage, mortgage, munchkins. That would be your kids. The let me tell you how to have a great marriage, how to make your finances work, and how to love your kids. Well, that's a typical start, so I ask again. Can you think about a few topics on which you would like to speak and that people need to hear? Once again, she started with how bad her life is, her husband, her kids, her in-laws, her outlaws. And before she could continue, I stopped her again. And I gave her this quote that I had seen. Friend, you can dwell on it for the rest of your life. That's death. Or you can let it go and move on. That's life. You see, I wanted her to let go of all her excuses and move forward with her dreams and desires and see life, the life she wants to see and be in and have. I want her to move forward to pursue her dreams of being a speaker in the faith community at conferences all over America and maybe even around the world. But she wants to dwell on all the reasons why it won't work. And I feel sure that within all the hours of excuse making, she refuses to make the small changes to clean up her life. And I'm guessing her house, her yard, her car, her closet, her kitchen, the kids, it just seems to be a reflection of other things that I have seen personally. Not for everybody. This is Deb talking to you as a friend. Because talking about it for so many of you listening today is so much easier than doing the hard work. I see it every day. And what's interesting is you see it every day also. Have to admit, I was brokenhearted that talking is all that she seemed to be willing to do. So I decided to offer her a small way out. Here's what I suggested. I said, listen, why don't you write a paragraph a day? Just a paragraph on what you would like to say should you be given the opportunity to speak to a group within the faith community. I'm not looking for War and Peace. I'm not even looking for Reader's Digest or Our Daily Bread short stories. Nothing major, nothing more than just a few lines every day about a topic she feels that would benefit others. And when she finishes writing her paragraph, send it to a trusted friend to keep her accountable, to keep her writing every single day. I suggested just a paragraph on a small notepad so she's not overwhelmed. And I offered to check back with her in a few weeks. Well, now I feel like Paul Harvey, here to tell you the rest of the story. I wish I had good news, but I don't. You see, she has chosen to talk about all the reasons why it still won't work. And she will, like my theme today, dwell on it for the rest of her life. And that's death. Listen, I could not convince her to let it go and move on. That would be life. The life she tells me she wants for herself and her lovely family. When I think about the simple homework I gave her, I'm reminded of a wonderful local TEDx speaker we had in my hometown many years ago. He writes what he calls mini sagas, stories he writes every single day. And they're exactly 50 words, no more, no less. He'll tell you that the design and planning it takes to produce a mini saga has made him more efficient, observant, and more disciplined in his everyday life. I gotta say, he was an excellent speaker, and his concept was intriguing to me, not only as a discipline, but also as a creative outlet within a strict guideline that undoubtedly leads to success in other areas of his life. You, listener, might want to consider writing a mini saga of only 50 words, and let's see how well you do. Okay, you don't have to do it daily, maybe once a week, but it's a great discipline. And within time, I'm sure you'll improve your skill in word choice, word color, and creative verbal design. Wow, that would be such an amazing step in the right direction to get your creative juices flowing for your success. Bridget Nicole's quote of, "You can dwell on it for the rest of your life, that's death. Or you can let it go and move on, friend, that's life," is so very real for many listening today. You've spent a lifetime talking about your dreams. So I have to ask, what would it take for you to get going on them and live the life you've imagined? As your friend, let me encourage you to let go of the past. I know I say this all the time. I get it. I know you're tired of hearing it. But let me say it one more time. Friend, if you don't make peace with your past, it will keep showing up in your present. I'm going to say it again. If you don't make peace with your past, it will show up in your present. So you've got to let past hurts, past failures, past falling downs go and move on. You can't change it now. If you've done your part and asked for forgiveness, and even if they didn't forgive you, that chance to accept your request for forgiveness or healing, well, friend, it's okay because it's over and you did the right thing. It's done. And what's interesting, for some, it's absolutely forgotten. For others, listen, believe it or not, it never meant a thing to them. So stop cheating on your future with your past. It's over. It's time to let it go and move on. That's life. That's the life you were born to have. That is your destiny. That is your calling. Move on. So breathe. Clear your mind, soul, body, and spirit, and move in the direction of your dreams. Friend, there's so much you could accomplish, but you gotta let go. And here's my promise. Okay, so here's the best I can do. I'll try to be here every week to cheer you on. And if I'm not here, find your tribe of people who will build you up, cheer you on, and celebrate your success. I'm Deb Sofield. This is Encouragement for Your Life. Stay tuned. I've got an excellent second half of the show to share with you. I'll be right back after the break. Hi folks, Deb Sofield here. Today's top executives have a lot more in common than mastering the boardroom and the bottom line. Successful people in business and politics have learned the art of mastering the media. Friends, you don't have a choice. In our high-tech, high-speed media age of Twitter, blogs, Facebook, and 24-hour news cycle, either you move quickly and decisively to define your product, your company, or yourself, or others will define you. To be successful, you can't afford to miss the mark because the public won't give you a second chance, the media is unforgiving, and YouTube will replay your remarks until you've been ground into dust. I can help you learn how to craft a message that will answer the questions and put the issues to rest. Answers that will resonate with reporters and the public, answers that will protect you. I'm Deb Sofield. I've been in the battlefield of business and politics for over 30 years. I know and understand how the game works, whether it's crafting your message, putting you on camera, or a hot seat for interviews. Let me help you be successful. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to continue with my theme on you can dwell on it for the rest of your life, or frankly, friends, you can let it go and move on. So let's talk about some things that you and I can do that will help us move on and to let go of the past. I came across a really good article by Gustavo Rossetti, and it's basically how to let go of the past and train your mind to let sad experiences slip away. So let me run through a few of these. I got to tell you, I like the first one. It's one we all do. It's stop trying to be the hero of your story. Our friend, we've all been hurt. It's sad, it's embarrassing, and no one really wants to look weak. I think that's why we construct our idealized version of the past, and we blame others instead of taking ownership for what happened. Everything in life has a beginning and an end. You don't need to continue rehashing your past to keep it alive. Some of you need to make peace with the end, especially if it was not attractive, and simply move on. I have to tell you, the next point is don't let others define who you are. Blaming others when things go wrong, well, it's just not good. It makes us lose our cool and it makes us look weak. We're letting them define in terms of how we live. We can't do that. You can't control what other people do, but you can control how you react. Focusing on what people did to you is simply a distraction. So you need to regain control of what you can manage and then live life on your own terms, not someone else's. You're going to hear me say this over and over. You've got to learn to forgive yourself. When something goes wrong, we all tend to blame ourselves. Sometimes we blame others, but sometimes in the quiet at night, we have a hard time accepting we made a mistake because a lot of us have a perfectionist mindset that we allow to take over. Did you make a mistake? Yeah, we all do. Learn to forgive yourself. Errors can be corrected. Mistakes are not a final destination, but a stop that prepares us for the journey. Our friend, we must learn from them and move forward. I think the next point is powerful. Don't let your problems define you. When we get so stuck in a problem, it is hard to separate the event from who we are. And some people create and maintain problems because that is their sense of identity. You and I both know people like this. Our stories shape us, but they don't define our identity. So don't let a bitter experience become who you are. Letting go of a past story makes space for a new one. I think we should focus on the here and now. I think it's also important that we, as they say, build a Teflon mindset. All our struggles stem from attachment. We're so in love with someone that we can't separate the me from we. We're so passionate about our career that we let our job titles define our identity. There's nothing wrong with loving someone or loving your job. The problem is when we're so attached that the fear of losing them does not allow us to enjoy them today. Letting go of the past is not forgetting what happened, but to let go of our expectations. Expectations. We don't suffer because relationships ended. We suffer because we wanted it to last forever. Instead of letting broken expectations get stuck in your mind, honor the positive experiences, both the past and the present. I'll end with this one. Friend, you got to let go of attachment. Most people can't let go of the past because they don't appreciate their present. Reframing our relationship with our past requires us to stop thinking of how things should be and accept them for what they are. Letting go of the past doesn't mean things weren't good while they lasted. It's about remembering the good moments instead of allowing an unhappy ending cloud the whole experience. So friend, if you want to let go of the past, start by appreciating what you have here and now. And we call that the present. I found another article that I really like in Life Hack. It's by Grishma Giri, and it's Steps to Let Go of Your Past. And the reason I'm focusing on that is I find so many people have so many excuses as to why they can't do what they were born to do, what they want to do, what they feel is their life's calling. So let's let go of the past and move to the future. So here's a few things I think we can all focus on. For so many listening today, and so many people that I meet, I think sometimes I just want to say to them, it's time to move on. See, the hardest part of letting go of the past is trying to make decisions to simply move on. Yes, it's hard to make new choices that can overcome our misdeeds in life, but you should always remember that you have a future to share. You've already paid for the past, my friend, and if that's not working out for you, then I think we need to recognize it's time to move on. And some things you can do is, pretty much make a list of what you can redo. Now, I like this one because life doesn't give you a second chance all the time. But what you can do is make a list of things that you would have done differently if you could go back in time and do it again. See, when you make a list like that, it helps you to learn from your mistakes while giving you ideas on what things should have been done right. You also develop a skill to plan things, and I think over time that helps you shape your future goals. Probably the most important rule in all the things I'll talk about today, and that is, friends, you got to believe in yourself. Pain and suffering are parts of everyone's life, and if you believe in yourself, I believe you will overcome the grief sooner than everybody else. When you start believing in yourself, you develop a positive atmosphere around you. And these feelings you gain will help to overshadow the mistakes and bad memories that just might be haunting you and stopping you from moving forward. The next point is you've got to live in the present. If you don't enjoy the life that you are living, your future is certainly going to be dark. You should have no regrets that eat up your thinking, and you need to live in the present. What's done is done, and there is no going back. And to that point, forget the fear. If you've ever failed in the past, chances are it's developed a sense of fear in you. And if you can't overcome the fear of your failing and wrongdoing, you'll get tense and things won't work out very well. Become a challenger and forget the fear. Think about things that you're afraid to do and then try to do some of them. Take it simply, one step at a time, and then overcome the fear that is holding you back. It's difficult, I get it. But I think if you could find someone who believed in you and who was willing to help you overcome your fear, things will get a bit better. Probably the next point I think is one of the most important, and I'm glad the author made note. Don't forget your morals and values. If you are to perform better in life, you need to stick to your morals and values. There's no denying that the bad events in life developed a feeling of change in us, and changes are not good every time. So, stick to your beliefs and morals. To develop a self-esteem and pride, I think this really gives you what you need and a positive attitude as you move forward in your life. I'll say it again, friends, you've got to learn to forgive. Mistakes happen, but holding back and remembering the same thing again and again and again will not do you any good. If you've made mistakes, apologize and forgive yourself. And listen, if others have hurt you or you've hurt others and they just can't let it go, just acknowledge that mistakes have happened, do what you can to make it right, and walk away. But one of the things you need to focus on as you are changing your life for the better, you got to let go of anger and resentment. Anger and resentment are toxic to your system, your heart, your mind, your body, your soul. These feelings will keep you in the past. They will bring you down to the ground and grind you into dust. It doesn't matter about the other person. This is affecting you. So you've got to let go of anger. You've got to develop a positive attitude. I'm not looking for happy, happy, happy. I'm looking for common sense because, friend, you have an ability to change the direction of your life if you're willing to tough it out. Because here's what I know. Perceptions shape our feelings and actions. The way you and I respond to what happened in our past will define our present and our future. So if you've got a feeling of guilt or remorse at things you could have done better, realize that you did what you could at that moment. If you acknowledge the fact, you'll also learn that your efforts were never intended to go in vain. Friend, be motivated to improve and thrive for a better future. I think these rules are important. I think it's a good reminder to just understand there is a time to move on. I like the whole idea of make a list of things you could redo, because what that does is bring it forward in your mind and you can work through it again. We've all made mistakes. We've said things we wish we never said. We walked away from people we probably should have stayed with. I get that. But there is a chance for you to not make the same mistake again. I love the next one. You got to believe in yourself. Friend, I have told you repeatedly, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God has a plan for you. Do not slink away and not live to your full potential. I told you about the lady who called. I get calls like that all the time. People want to do big things, but then they refuse to believe in the gifts that they have and putting themselves out there because they live in the past and not the present. And so many live in fear. I really like the idea of do not forget your morals and values. Friend, that's who we are. That's what we believe. That's what we will be remembered for. So let's not take the easy way out. You've got to forgive others. You need to stop carrying the weight and the burden that others have placed on you. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and move on. And let go of anger and resentment. You've got to just leave it be. Friend, you could dwell on it for the rest of your life. That's death. Or you can let it go and move on. That's life. And that's the life I wish for you. I'm Deb Sofield. This is Encouragement for Your Life. I hope you'll join me next week, same time, same place, and we will continue our stories for a better life for our future.